Hello, I'm Karla Gruber with Front Porch Art, and I'm going to share with you some lessons about some pretty neat artists. And this lesson today will be about Frida Kahlo. And Frida Kahlo was born in 1907, and she is best known for her use of bright colors and a lot of Mexican themes. This is a sugar skull using bright colors, and the motif or the representation is very much like Frida Kahlo. She's known for these wonderful deep eyebrows and also the flowers in her hair. So that is the sugar skull that will influence our artwork today. And here is a picture of Frida herself. She is from Mexico. She was born in 1907, and when she was 6 years old, she contracted polio, and it caused one of her legs to be shorter than another. And her friends or classmates called her peg leg. I guess that's not much of a friend, is it? Well, Frida loved animals and flowers and her Mexican heritage. And I'm going to share with you a little bit about her, and then we're going to do an activity that will reflect the sugar skull as just a fun way of depicting some artwork of Mexican influence. So Frida Kahlo was born in Mexico. Her father was a photographer, and her mother was strict. She had 3 sisters, and she went to school, and a preparatory school in her city where it had been only allowed boys at one time, and her class allowed about 30 girls to attend. And she met a man by the name of Diego Rivera at this time. He was doing a mural on the wall in the preparatory school there. And unfortunately, when she was 18 and she was riding home on a city bus from the school, a trolley and the bus collided, and a handrail went through Frida. So polio can cause pain, but Frida suffered with pain her entire life because especially of this accident. Her father, being amateur artist himself, he was, like I said, a photographer. He provided her a easel on her bed as she recuperated, and also they put a covering over her bed, a canopy with a mirror. Frida said that she liked doing self-portraits because she was frequently alone, and she was the subject that she knew best. And we are going to make a project that is similar to this student work, and it's not very complicated, but it's kind of fun. And I'm going to do some projects with you coming up on different artists. So this one has Frida's traditional flowers in her hair, and it also has the nice eyebrows, but it carries also the decorations of the sugar skull. So I'm going to show you first of all what our material list needs to be for you to do the activity with me or at your own pace. So the first thing that you will need is colorful paper. So you will need one particular bright colored paper. It can be any of these colors, whatever you choose. Orange, green, red, blue, yellow, purple, and you will also need white and black. You will need scissors and sequins. And you will also need scissors, glue, markers, a pencil, and let's begin. I enjoy teaching art, and I am certainly looking forward to sharing with you some other artists in the coming days. And Frida is one of my favorites because I love bright colors in my own artwork. My favorite place is where I am now, Front Porch Art, and I make art here, I have art here, and I teach art here. So I thought it would be wonderful to have a video, so some of you that have been trapped with this quarantine may feel like you want to give it a try because it's just something fun to do. So here's the 3 colors of tissue paper I needed to mention to you also, and you can use any color, but I have purple, hot pink, and pale pink. So let us begin. The first thing that you want to do, and I believe I mentioned the craft sticks. If I did not, here they are. I've been teaching art since 1988, and I still make mistakes, and I will make mistakes here today, but I want to encourage you to keep doing your art, practice, and you will get better. You may not ever be perfect, but that's okay. So the first thing that we want to do is to take our popsicle stick and cut a piece of paper that is about square, more rectangular. But this is the bright color that I've chosen, so I'm going to ask you to choose your favorite color. And then you're going to take the white paper and draw a light bulb shape. And I have a friend who teaches art as well, and she says draw light to get it right. So I'm going to make my light bulb shape with pencil, and that way if I make a mistake I can erase it. And if I get it like I want, then I can just go over it with marker. So I've drawn my shape, my light bulb shape. Can you see that? Okay. And my hands shake a little bit, but it doesn't stop me from doing the things I like to do. So I'm going to encourage you that if you have any imperfection, and remember Frida had this constant pain. She lived to be 47 years old. She had pets. She married a man named Diego Rivera that was a very important muralist. She wanted to have children, and her life was never for that to happen. So that made her sad as well. So when you're feeling sad, art is a very good thing to do to relieve your sadness or express how you're feeling. Some of Frida's paintings, if you were to Google, some of them are a little bit scary, but that was her reality. She was facing surgeries her whole life. She had 35 surgeries. She lived in America for a while. Diego got a commission to do a mural in California and then another one in New York. But she was homesick while she was in America, so she wanted to go back to Mexico. All right, let's continue with our activity. Unfortunately, Frida only lived to be 47 years old, and she was in pain her whole life. So I'm going to ask you that if you have something bothering you, don't let it keep you from doing the things you like doing. Do your best and just keep at it. Keep a sketchbook. Here is student work. I'll show you that. And I've cut out my color. And I have my glue stick. And I've cut out my light bulb shape. Now the light bulb shape is going to go on this, and it's a little big, so I'm going to cut it down some. So if you have cut out a light bulb shape, we want it to fit nicely on that rectangular shape. And I'm just trimming this one down a little bit. Wonderful colors behind me remind me of, she lived in a blue house in Mexico, and it was called the Blue House. Okay, so we have this marvelous shape. We're going to glue it onto the construction papers shape, which is a rectangle. I'm using glue stick. Okay, also my black, this is the shape of the hair. It's a circle with a bun shape on top, and I do have a ruler, and I'm going to measure this. Pardon me. Okay, so the light bulb shape is 1, 2, just under 4 inches, and it is how wide? 3 inches wide at the widest point. Also, our picture will be on a piece that is 4.5 inches tall. And 4 inches wide. So I'm going to draw the eye shape, which is just a circle, and another circle about the size of the glue lid. So if you want to trace, that's okay, but I think I'm going to make mine just a little smaller. And there's my eyes. Now I'm going to do a rounded triangle for the nose. The edges are rounded. Okay. And the mouth is like a slice of orange, or a half of a circle. Then the teeth, a straight line across. And you can stop there if you like. But I'm going to add 3 lines because I feel like that makes it more skull-like. Okay, so here is my shapes drawn on my white light bulb paper. And then I'm going to use a marker. I'm simply using Crayola markers. I know it looks reverse on here, but they're just regular Crayola markers. Okay. So color the eye all the way in, and the other eye all the way in. And then color in the nose. And then go around your mouth shape with the marker. We don't want to color it all the way in because we want to be able to see those marvelous teeth. Okay, so it's kind of boring right now, but we're going to make it a little more interesting. Okay, the next shape that we had was this. Now, some of you are very creative, and you can tell that this bottom part is a full circle, but it has sort of a curtain-looking shape cut out. And how wide is it? Okay, it is about 4 inches at its widest. And how tall? About 3.5 inches tall. And when I put this on, it goes up above my paper. Now, if you like, you can make your paper bigger to start with, but I kind of like the bun to stick up. So I am now going to a little bit. Okay, see, this is hanging down a little bit. Too much. So I'm going to cut that and make it a little shorter. And like I said, my hands shake a little bit, but it doesn't stop me from doing the things I like to do. So if you have an imperfection, and we all do, I advise you to get your art supplies, and have a good time putting things together. It's really better to think of the process than the end product, but of course we want something that might be interesting or pretty, or at least fun to look at. And it's certainly going to be fun to create. Okay, so we have glue. Just holding this on. And next, we're going to put the popsicle sticks across the bottom. And the one, I'm going to put one in the back, even though this is in the front. I'm going to put my popsicle stick on the back right here. Okay. And that's a chunk of glue. I'm going to get rid of it. I do have a napkin here beside me. And there's one popsicle stick for the front, using plenty of the glue stick. Rub down hard on the yellow paper. There's popsicle stick number 3. And then we have one last one. Four craft sticks. You can see my room is full of interesting, busy things. Okay, so we have, and if you don't like that, you can move your popsicle stick to the front. I'm not sure I like it not being visible. Okay, I moved mine because my glue is still loose. Okay, now the tissue paper that we use, we're just going to rip a corner off. I have purple, and I'm going to take 3 pieces. This is big, so I'm going to I'm going to rip it. So I want a chunk of paper about this big for each one of these. Now I'm going to make a little paper wad. And the paper wad is just going to simply go on the top. This is a person that is just torn paper, and I like that look also. But if you want it to be 3-dimensional, then you take this and make a little wad. Put the glue on it, and then stick it on the bun. Alright, now I'm going to do the same thing with the pink paper. I have pale pink. And tear your paper from the side so you have plenty left for another project. I know that being an artist can mean that I collect a lot of things, and my house can be messy. But I try to put things back in the same place. That way, when I want to make another project, I can find the supplies that I need. So I advise you, too, that if you're a creative messy like I am, then you may want to develop a special way of putting your things so that you can find them again later. Okay, so I've made a nice little pale pink paper wad. And I think I'm going to take one more of these. And if you have too many and they won't go on like you want, you don't have to use 4. You can decide if you want them to be a little bigger. I've decided that I want to use the fuchsia. That's something about being an artist. Sometimes we work on the fly and we're not always together when everybody else would like us to be together. But most of the time, we have a good time creating things. And you might be fun to be around, I hope. Certainly have enjoyed my students that have come to Front Porch Art to take lessons. I think there's only one Front Porch Art in Kentucky, so you're welcome here at Front Porch Art, or to check me out on Facebook. Alright, so I got that much done. Those do look like flowers, don't they? Okay, so now I'm going to add a very skinny line for her eyebrows. See that very skinny line right there? Okay. I'm going to put that where her eyebrows go. And hers are a unibrow. That's something very distinguishing for Frida Kahlo. This design. Eyebrow, a unibrow, and the flowers in her hair. So if you see that on a t-shirt or something at Walmart or wherever that you happen to get things, you'll know that that was inspired by Frida Kahlo. Okay, now we're going to decorate the popsicle sticks with sequins. I have a handful of sequins. You can use any you like. And these that this student used, some are star-shaped. And then there's some circles. And then one or two have fallen off, and that one looks like a little leaf. That's a star. So any kind of sequin you like. Something shiny. You can use shiny paper if you like. This is just a candy wrapper. And if I was to use a hole puncher or cut out some pieces, I could certainly use this to decorate my picture. And when I'm done, I could put a magnet on the back and put it on my refrigerator if I like, for my mom, or you decide. Okay, I'm putting glue on my popsicle sticks, and I'm going to put on those marvelous sequins. And you can take your time and make your sticks perfectly straight against each other if you like. But right now, I'm more concerned with getting you familiar with what to do. Alrighty, got a heart-shaped sequin. It's a green heart, a red square, there's a little red heart, and then I have some bigger sequins. These guys, I'm going to use them. One is a flower shape. And you can be random, or you can decide to be balanced and symmetrical. Symmetrical just means that you want one thing to match what the other thing does on the other side. Like, this is not symmetrical, and I'm losing the stick. That's imperfection, people. Does it keep us from having fun and doing things we like? No, it doesn't. We're in a very imperfect world. I don't like being locked up because of COVID-19, but that's the way things are right now. So that's why I decided to do this lesson with you today, is so we'd have something fun to do. And you may want to come back to this later, even after all the COVID craziness has calmed down. All right. Now, you could also put sequins around her face, if you like. And I have not added the little, those wonderful flowers around her nose and eyes. And then there's flowers on her cheek, some dots. So I'm going to do those now with a marker. I'm thinking I want to use orange and pink, but you can use whatever color you like. And in a minute I'll show you a different way of creating a sugar skull that might be fun. There we are. There's a boy. So he has a mustache and his hair is cut and it doesn't have the bun. The bun part is missing. And it's brown instead of black, so our hat stands out. And those colors, wow, that's Mardi Gras colors, isn't it? Orange, purple, and green. So that's our boy sugar skull. I just love his hat. Okay, so I'm going to put the flowers around her eyes. I'm using the pink marker right now. I really like pink. And Frida certainly used a lot of bright colors in her artwork. So you will have to look up Frida Kahlo, even though some of her artwork is a little scary because she had some scary things happen in her life. I don't think any of us would like having 35 surgeries. Okay, here is her eyes. And now I'm going to put orange around her nose. Might be too much, but I still like it. And okay, and I think I'm going to use some yellow dots on her cheeks. And a green flower on the chin. And I like to teach art to grown-ups as well as to kids. I was teaching with a lady named Becky, and she's very susceptible to the virus, so we had to close down our lessons for a while. Okay, so there's a flower on the chin. And here is the option for a boy. This is what it looks like if you put it in the frame. And we've done sort of a silly but fun project to recognize and remember the artwork of Frida Kahlo. Look her up, Frida Kahlo. And I'm Karla Gruber from Front Porch Art. This has been a lot of fun, and we'll do this again soon. Thank you.